I have this ROCK&ROCKER automatic robotic pool cleaner that I want to show you today. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box to show you everything that comes with it. So I've got the top open. It's got this bag here with manual and some other items. It's got, it looks like the electrical cord. I'll lay that over here to the side. All right. Packaging looks pretty good. It has the control power module and the robot, and that is a big robot. That is a significant size unit. Let me get that taken out of here for you. So I've got the unit out of the box. It has the owner's manual, comes with this rope. It comes with 4 pieces of, I guess, stick-on polyurethane. We'll see what that's for. This is the main unit. It's pretty good size. It's relation to my hand. This is the control power module here, where you can set the cycles and where the plug for the unit plugs into, and then of course you plug this into the wall. Here is the floating cable that runs the unit, and it plugs into the control module. The big unit here, this is what you put in the pool. To open it up, it looks like you push these 2 plastic pieces in and the top fold open. It's got 2 collection baskets. That's a very fine mesh. I bet that's going to collect debris pretty well, but still allow a lot of water flow to go through. And that's something that seems to be pretty important on these type of robotic cleaners, that you want a lot of water flow. You want water being able to flow in and out pretty easy. So if you have just regular paper filters and things like that and they get clogged up, it reduces the amount of water flow, and then you don't get a lot of collection. That's one of the problems we're having with our other pool cleaner. We keep replacing the filters on it, but it just isn't picking up. So we're hoping this is really going to do better. Again, 2 collection baskets. It's got these little rubber tabs in the bottom that lets the debris come in and then not be able to escape. And then it's got the flow motor here that helps make the water flow through the unit. And that's it. Very simple design, very easy to clean. You just put these 2 baskets back in, close the 2 doors, and lock the 2 pieces. All right, so I looked through this manual. These blocks right here are actually for extra flotation for this unit. If this unit is running fine with no problems out of the box, then you don't have to worry about installing these. But if the unit has some issues doing some climbing and things that you need, these are to add some more flotation to the robot to allow it to reach different areas of your pool. This actually is for securing the actual power unit. So you need to keep the power unit for this device away from the pool, at least 3 feet or more. And this rope with this hook is intended to help you attach it to a location to keep it from going in the pool. The power unit has to stay away from the water, and you want to be able to secure it somewhere so the robot can't drag the power unit into the pool. One thing I liked about this robot's design is it has this swivel that's supposed to keep the cord from getting all tangled up, and that's one of the big problems we have with our robot now. The cord will tangle up from it spinning around in circles so much, and then eventually it doesn't do the whole pool because it's all tangled up in the cord. This is supposed to help prevent that. So there's a swivel built into this floating cord, and as the unit moves around, it's supposed to allow this to not get all tangled up. Again, this is a floating cord, so the cord will float on top of the water, and then you just plug this side of the cord into the control unit, and then the control unit plugs into the wall. So this only goes in one way, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up and get this plugged in so we can get this thing ready to use. On the side of this unit, it says Winnie Pool Cleaner HJ3052. So this is just a view of the underside of this pool cleaner. These are the 2 inlets where the water is pulled into the baskets to pick up any debris. And that is basically anything that would be flipped up from these little paddles would flip the debris up, and it would pull it into here. Same thing here. It's got 2 tracks on the side. And like I said, it's a pretty big unit, so I got to back up. Seems like the build quality on it's pretty nice. I think this is going to do good. I don't plan on keeping this attached right here to this storage bench, but it is nice that it came with that attachment rope in the box so that I could temporarily put it there until I find a more permanent place to mount that. But I do have it running to our power plug here, and I do have the unit plugged in to the controller. So let's get this rolling. All right, so I have read the instructions. It says to put the robot in the pool before you turn it on. Make sure that it completely submerges into the water before turning it on to keep from damaging the unit. All right, I'm gonna put it in there, put it on a 1 hour runtime. Let's see what it does. Grab it by the handle. And off it goes. When you put these units in your pool, you're gonna wanna throw all of the line in the pool so that way it can drive around and not be restricted by the line hanging up on something. All right, it looks like it's submerged, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. Now that the robot is in the pool and completely submerged, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, and let's go with a 1 hour cycle and see how well it does. And there's the water spewing up. That is the turbine that's inside of that unit pushing the water out the top, which means it's sucking it up down in the bottom, which then collects the debris. And as you can see, there is a little bit of debris in the pool, and I'm gonna see if it collects all of that out. Our pool's normally pretty clean, but it does have some debris down in the bottom. So I'm gonna let this run, and we're gonna see how well it does. So there's a couple things that I noticed while this thing was running that I really like. The first thing is, look at the power cord. It's not all tangled up. It's just laying there basically kind of like how I threw it in the water. The other unit that we have, the robot, just tangles the cord up. It spins, it goes around in circles, and you gotta untangle the cord. Every time you wanna use it, it is a mess. Well, this one has a special swivel built into the cord that's supposed to keep it from ever tangling up. And so far, this is awesome. This is simple to roll up. It's gonna be great. The next thing that I noticed is it doesn't get stuck on my drain. So there's a problem with a lot of these robotic pool cleaners where if you've got these little drains at the bottom that have, you know, they're beveled up a little bit to keep you from having suction problems and a child or somebody getting trapped. Well, our old robot that we had would always get hung up on those drains, and it would just sit there, wouldn't go anywhere. It would just sit all day until we came out here and moved it to get it going again. We ran this unit, it went over those drains multiple times. It didn't get stuck, it didn't get hung and then have to get itself unhung, nothing. It just went right over those drains, no problem at all. So those are two major issues that I've had with our previous robot that drove me crazy. It looks like this robot from ROCK&ROCKER doesn't have those issues. Let's go ahead and pull this thing out of the pool and see what it's collected. So to pull this out of the pool, you're going to need to just grab the power cord very gently and pull the robot toward you. So right now I'm just going to pull this line out. Like I said, it's not tangled up, which is just extremely awesome. I can't stand untangling these power cords. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I can't do it. So pull this robot up far enough until you can grab the handle. I let the water drain out so we don't waste a lot of water. All right, now that the water's drained out, I'm gonna set it down. So now it's set down, the unit's already turned off. I unplugged it. So now let's go ahead and open it up and clean it out. So to do this, again, you just come over here, push those two unlocking tabs, flip open the cap, and there's quite a bit of stuff in there. If you can see that, let's pull this out. Wow. Our pool was pretty clean. Well, you think it's pretty clean until you run the robots through them. It even picked up a little piece of plaster that has fallen off. But that's pretty good. So another thing that I don't like about my existing or my previous robotic cleaner is it uses paper filters. So I noticed on this one, there's no paper filter system here. You've just got two baskets that have a really fine mesh, and they pretty much collect everything you need it to collect. The other system that we have has paper filters in it, and it's got baskets in it that don't really have a fine mesh. They only collect big things like maybe little pebbles or little pieces of sticks or whatever that may be in the pool, but they don't collect all of this fine dirt and things of that nature that have been now collected in this. That gets picked up in the paper filters. Well, those paper filters get dirty fast. You can spray them out with a water hose, but they eventually just don't allow much water flowing through them. Then it really degrades the performance of that robotic unit until you go and buy more paper filters to put in it. That's very frustrating because it doesn't take long for those filters to get nasty, and then you're always buying filters. So this one, again, has this fine mesh in these baskets that you just turn around and you wash these out and you're good to go. That's another issue we had with the robotic cleaner we had before. It just really didn't pick up any other rocks or anything that was very big. It would pick up little stuff that it could sweep up into the water, but we'd usually have to go and use the broom and then use a skimmer to go down there and get anything, you know, bigger than just a tiny pebble. All right, so again, this is pretty easy to clean. You just take these two little baskets out. And now we're going to go wash these baskets out with a water hose. Inside of here, the robot is clean. Everything that needs to be collected is in these baskets. So once we clean them, then we can put it back in there and store it for the next run. So to clean these baskets, it's very easy. You just get a water hose. I don't even put a nozzle on it. I just sprayed these off with the water hose and used my thumb to build a little bit of pressure. And this thing cleaned fine. I mean, this is great. They don't have to be spotless, but you know, you want to clean them out pretty good. So both of these have been cleaned. This took me about 20 seconds. I mean, it was nothing. Before I cleaned them out, I just kind of tapped them here on the patio to show some of the debris they picked up. And they picked up, here's a piece of plaster that has come off the pool. It picked that up with no problem. And here you can see little specks of that. But I mean, this thing has picked up sand that has been blown into the pool from the walkways we have. It's even picked up sawdust that was in the pool from a neighbor when they were working on their deck. So this is great. Our other pool cleaner would run many times before it even collected anywhere near this amount of debris out of the pool, and the pool looked very clean when we threw this in. So I am extremely happy with the amount of debris that it pulled out of that pool by just running one time. This is awesome. So I definitely think cleaning wise, this thing's gonna do way better than the cleaner that we have now. To put these back in the pool cleaner, you just put the baskets back into the grooves that they're in. They do only face one specific direction. That's it. Close the lid, reset the locks, and you're good for your next run. It is good to store these out of the sun. somewhere in the shade, maybe a storage building, something protected from the elements, because they do get a lot of beating because they're in the sun. They're also getting beat up by the chlorine that's in your water. So you really want to try to do the best you can to protect these and keep them out of as much sun and UV as possible. So far, this thing has exceeded my expectations. This is everything we wanted in a pool cleaner, and I'm hoping it lasts us a really long time. All right, if this review was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all be safe out there.